Well, this is where this story originated. See it up there too. Publication of American Family Association. Well, this is really good. If you've followed any of Publius Huda's teachings, you'll find out what I'm going to tell you is the absolute truth. Now, this is Sir William Blackstone in Long War Against Law. In his office in the Alabama Judicial Building, Alabama Supreme Court Justice Tom Parker proudly displays a 4-volume 1773 edition of Commentaries on the Laws of England. Written by William Blackstone, the famous English jurist, commentaries form the core of American jurisprudence before and after the ratification of the U.S. Constitution, said Parker, who was elected to the High Court of Alabama in 2004 and has been re-elected 6 years later. An introduction to the reprint of University of Chicago Press began with the startling sentence, Sir William Blackstone's commentaries on the law of England 1765 to 1769 is the most important legal thesis ever written in the English language. In fact, according to the monumental 10-year study on Founding Father era political documents conducted by the University of Houston, political science professor Donald Lutz, Blackstone was the third on the most quoted sources. Only the Bible represented 34% of cited sources, and political philosopher Charles D. Monsieur or something were higher than Blackstone. Okay. While Blackstone's books were the foundation of American law when the nation was established, the process of hollowing out Blackstone's influence began almost 150 years ago. Why did this happen? The short answer is that Blackstone was rejected because Blackstone's ideas were rooted in a Judeo-Christian view of the world. God designed the world to express certain ideas under certain laws, and this theory is called natural law. The influence of Blackstone and other thinkers of a similar vein led to the familiar founding father sentiments on this mention of the law of nature and nature's God in the Declaration of Independence. Those laws apply to humanity as well, Parker said. When he created man and imbued with him with a free will to conduct himself in all parts of life, he laid down certain immutable laws of human nature. Human laws are therefore the product of people comprehending God's purpose and fashioning their own regulations of human conduct to reflect that divine will. However, following the Civil War, some influential individuals embraced a new idea, Darwin evolution. The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin in 1859 had a huge impact on the movers and shakers who saw no room in American jurisprudence for Blackstone's God-based law of nature. It was really a deliberate effort by the president of the Harvard University, Charles Eliot, to change things, to introduce evolution into the teaching of law. So he hired Christopher Langdell as dean of Harvard Law School from 1870 to 1895, who changed from using Blackstone's commentaries that had immutable principles to a new case law approach, studying the writings of judges. You see where this is going? Okay. What they were able to do is to change the focus from God, who gave us immutable principles, to the judge, the man who was writing the law. By studying case law over time, they were able to show an evolution of law. It's astounding how long he was there, Parker said. He served 30 years from 1902 until he retired in 1932, but he had a big impact. Holmes is best known for the path of law in an article that appeared in a Harvard Law Review in 1879. He doubted whether it would be a gain in every word of moral significance to be banished from the law altogether. In other words, adopted which could convey legal ideas uncolored anything outside of law. But through that famous article, he made a complete break from Blackstone. Yep, Holmes had a far-reaching effect. From that point on, judges began to accrue power in the American political experiment. In my constitutional law class at Vanderbilt University, one of the better law schools in the country, we never read the Constitution. We just read what the judges said about it. That's what the lady was trying to say. These people are they're making the judges the law and not the Constitution. Maybe I should read that again. In my constitutional law class at Vanderbilt University, one of the better law schools in the country, we never read the Constitution, Parker said. We only read what judges said about that. What that does, it makes the judge a law unto themselves. I'm going to zoom that in because judges become a law unto themselves. Not the Constitution, which they're trying to uphold and defend and all this other good stuff. They're making the judges the law. So anyway, that's what I wanted to show you guys. This lady's been trying to tell you something to wake you up. Now here this was, let's see, this was in, okay, I want to zoom this in because I want to get the date. January 28th, 2015. And you try to tell people what's going on and they just don't grasp it because they hear somebody talk about it but they don't put two and two together to make the sentence or to make it understood. But that's what's going on. When you study, when you only go to school to study the Constitution and the only thing that you study is what the judges said about it, then you're letting that judge become the law and not the Constitution. Now, I noticed that some of her Pluvitus Huda's stuff is up on the internet. I'll post this to it so will people understand when that lady's talking about these judges and what these judges said and they're not following the Constitution. If they went back to the original intent of the Constitution, then they would understand the Constitution, but they aren't doing that. It's just like your Commerce Clause. If you go back to the original intent written in the Federalist Papers, number 22 and 42, you'll find out what the Commerce Clause is. It's only about restricting, not restricting, it's to keep the free flow of traffic going between the straits back then. That's what the Commerce Clause is. It's nothing more. And they've been lumping all these laws using the Commerce Clause to pass firearm laws, to pass Obamacare, and stuff like that. So wake up, smell the roses, and start putting your foot down. If you people do not have a Constitution by now, there's something wrong with you. You're as bad as those people in Congress right now. They call themselves lawmakers, call themselves honorable, and they are doing nothing of the sort. Thanks for watching.